100.7 FM. You're listening to WWBC, Cocoa, Merritt Island, Melbourne, Titusville, and the Beaches, 1510 AM, as well as W234BI, Cocoa, Vieira, 94.7 FM, and W264AS, Melbourne and Palm Bay, 100.7 FM.
That's our theme song, Extraordinary, composed and performed by Nyasha Roden. Do I hear a Grammy nomination? Yes! Good morning. Buenos dias, bonjour, kia ora, abarigani. Welcome to the Steelpan Vibes. It's more than music radio show. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Miss B, with Asa, Fumilayo, Dwayne, and Alexandra. Those are in-studio guests, and of course, Mr. Paul at the control. Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
All right.
Morning.
Yeah, they had a late start there, a little late start. But we greet you all, listeners, especially those of you joining us for the first time. Wherever in the world you are, just sit back, relax, and enjoy 60 minutes of the finest Steelpan recordings and talk that inspires. So call a friend, call a neighbor, invite them to tune in. Today's musical theme is Calypso Breakaway. Calypso's on pan that make you want to dance. In the Steelpan Vibe Spotlight, our in-studio guest is Miss Alexandra Ducksworth. Alex, as we call her, was our guest a few weeks ago, and she's back by popular demand. A music student and Pan-Africanist, this time Alice will share a broader view on mental health and the role of music in our community, and some other things as well. So get ready for great music and inspiring talk.
My Rock and My Fortress is the title of our opening selection. It's a Ray Holman composition arranged by Ray Holman and Michael Germain. Vocals by Gillian Sekerin Scott featuring Anthony Rose on double second pants from the album For His Glory on the Sanch label.
And I afraid no human condition, 'cause he's my rock and my fortress. He's my guide and my witness. He's my refuge and strength. On him I depend. He'll see me through to the end. With arrows or tongues, it don't matter. I know he's there in my corner. So those who will abuse their power, press on, you know why. So I am free, no bad situation. situation. And I afraid no human condition, 'cause he's my rock and my fortress. He's my guide and my witness. He's my refuge and strength. On him I depend. He'll see me through to the end. In every battle he's present, playing a strong hand but silent. No need to panic, no worry. Stand firm, he's behind. So I afraid no bad situation. And I afraid no human condition. 'Cause he's my rock and my fortress. He's my guide and my
The selection we just heard was brought to you by Thrifty Specialty Produce and Meats of Palm Bay. Thrifty Specialty Produce and Meats of Palm Bay offers a wide selection of fresh fruit, vegetables, fish, and meat for the international palate. Frozen foods, fresh dairy, and hot foods are also available at the deli, as well as wholesale and catering services coming soon at Thrifty, money transfer services to Haiti, Jamaica, and the West Indies. Thrifty Specialty Produce of Palm Bay is located at 2135 Palm Bay Road. Call 321-726-8007. Again, that's 321-726-8007. At Thrifty Specialty Produce and Meats, freshness is guaranteed.
Well, folks, you will be hearing from Edgar. We hope to hear from Edgar about what's on sale at Thrifty. Asa.
Yes, if you're listening to the Steelpan Vibes, it's More Than Music radio show here on 1510 AM WWBC 94.7, 99.9, 100.7 FM in Brevard County, streaming live around the globe at facebook.com/Steelpan Vibes, 1510wwbc.com, available on app WWBC for Androids and iPhones. I'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, so what is Calypso Breakaway? That's when you hit the dance floor to a calypso with your partner, and after a while, the music moves you to break away and do your own dance. Here is, from the island of Barbados, Ricky Ben doing Austin Lyons, also known as Super Blue Soca Baptist, from the album Pan Odyssey.
Steelpan Vibes is more than music radio show, has been on the air for 8 years because our sponsors make it possible. Please give them your support. Also, you can see us live now. Go to the Steelpan Vibes is more than music Facebook page, select videos, click on live, or visit the video library anytime to see what you've missed. Also, remember to like, comment, and share our page. Steelpan Vibes is brought to you by Brown's Bakery and Restaurant. For mouth-watering baked goods, soups, beverages, and meals, from patties to rock cake, chicken to goat head soup, juices to coconut water, and West Indian-style meals from jerk chicken to oxtails and delicious roti too, all at Brown's Bakery and Restaurant, located at 1155 Malabar Road, inside the Interchange Plaza. Call 321-727-1060. Again, that's 321-727-1060. Catering is also available. Brown's Bakery and Restaurant, taste you can't resist.
Time to get dirty. It's time to get nasty. It's time to get stink. Time to get on. It's time to get dirty. Stink and nasty. To get nasty. Stink and dirty. Time to get stink. Time to get on. Bacchanal. It's bacchanal. Dirty bacchanal. It's bacchanal. Endless bacchanal. Plenty bacchanal.
Blue, a color pigment, canal, making a statement. Blue, color pigment, canal, making Juve day, a brand new day. The top that crow and we on the way. Canal come down with a brand new song. We take 10,000 to bar we won.
So run, come down to the fun. It's a celebration, pure love on the run. Run, bring your bad self from. Today the whole world upside down. Hey, upside down, left, right, turn round. Today we coming to paint the town. Upside down, left, right, turn round. Today we coming to paint the town. Blue,
What we come to do,
I think I'm paint the town. Blue,
like a jazz when I sing, turn the whole world upside down.
what we come to do, I think I'm paint the town. Blue,
Like a jazz when I sing, turn the whole world upside down.
hey, bacchanal, look bacchanal,
Plenty
bacchanal,
blue, a color pigment, blue devil, the people, the statement. Look me, I heading for stage, I get to know I don't want to be here. With your horn and your fork and your tail, blue like you come out to make a jail. Blue, you dirty and you stink and you nasty, blue like a jam.
blue like a devil, pay the devil. Blue when you pay, you go beyond the level. Blue when you cry and you scream and you holler. Give me a copper.
Give me a copper, give me a dollar, give me a dollar, a blue dollar, a blue one with two notes on the end. That is the kind that I understand. Blue, what we come to do?
I think I'm paint the town. Blue,
Like a jam when I see turn the whole world upside down. Yeah.
what we come to do, I think I'm paint the town. Yes,
Like a jam when I see.
come down. As you can all 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 come down with a brand new song to turn the whole world upside down. You can all come down with a brand new song, turn the whole world upside down. Hey, upside down, left, right, turn round. Today we coming to paint the town. Upside down, left, right, turn round.
We coming to make it down.
What we come to do? I'm gonna paint the town blue. Like a
Turn the whole world upside down. Hey.
what we come to do? I'm gonna paint the town blue.
Like a jam when I see.
Upside down, yeah. It's bacchanal. Look bacchanal.
Plenty
Bacchanal. Hey. Blue devil on a hunt.
I'm looking for my best to perform a stunt. Girl, make your waistline roll. Girl, blue is your color, lose control. Girl, make your waistline roll. Blue is your color, lose control. When you flaunt in your waist, blue like you come out to give me a taste. You flaunt in your waist all up in my face, and you still wouldn't give me a little taste. Blue and you're rolling up the behind. Look how she walking up that waistline.
She come out to commit a crime. Watch how she moving.
Illegal wine.
Blue when you're winding down to the ground. Blue and we coming to paint the town.
All right, that was Three Canal doing their own composition, Blue, backed by Skiffle Bunch Steel Orchestra from the album Skiffle Bunch and Stalin live at Naparima Bowl. That was done a couple of years ago. I think maybe 2003. Now, let's see who's listening. Oh, Cliff Alexis. Thank you for joining us. Trevor Cole, Garvin Blake, Susan, Adrienne, and Marie. Thank you so much for joining us today with our Calypso Breakaway. We breaking away from, well, it's traditional because Pan and Calypso, they go well together from way back. In fact, one fed the other in Trinidad and Tobago. The Calypsonians, they made their calypsos and the steel bands played the calypsos for Carnival. In fact, that happened for many, many years until composers started to make their own panorama tunes. So that just added to the good mix of Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. All right, Asa, what's happening?
Well, if you're just joining us, this is the Steelpan Vibes. It's more than music radio show. I hope you're enjoying our Calypso Breakaway mix. Who's in the spotlight later in the show, you may ask. Alexandra Ducksworth is back talking about mental health, self-hatred, African history, and more with guest interviewer and Pan-African writer Dwayne Akio Wang Amuwale. Don't touch that dial. More sweet Calypso Breakaway with Pan back to back.
Thank
Well, folks, that set began with Lord Nelson's hit, Me Lover, done by Woodbrook Playboys from the album Panyard Jam, and followed by a Nigel Chase arrangement of Len Bugsy Sharp, Woman is Boss. Even Paul agrees with that. He says his wife would love that tune.
No,
Woman is
she
Boss.
wrote it.
She wrote it. Okay. And that was Oberlin Steel from their album Don't Panic. Oberlin Steel is one of the oldest collegiate steel bands in the USA. They're about 30 years old. It's student run, and they've kept it up for many, many years. So they do a lot to promote pan at the collegiate level in the USA. I'm going to bring on one of their founding members, if I could find them, to talk to us and tell us what they do at Oberlin Steel. Okay, Asa, what's going on?
Before we get to the spotlight with our guest, Miss Alexandra Ducksworth and Dwayne, let's listen to two Calypso breakaway recordings with Pan back to back.
up speechless by the savannah. They can't understand. No steel band to play in panorama. You see, pan is carnival, the only bacchanal. When you up the Baba Green, it's such a crazy scene. Steel band come from all about, east, west, north and south. That's the culture, Trini culture, the Trinidad Steel Orchestra. Never miss the water till the well run dry. I hear people say, never thought I'll see the day when I can hear no more pan. To reject your culture must be Trinity, but hear what I sing. The steel band in Trinidad is the king. You see, pan is carnival, it's the only bacchanal. When you're up the Baba Green, it's such a crazy scene. Rhythm go capture your soul and take full control. That's the culture, Trini culture, the Trinidad Steel Orchestra. Okay, Calypso Breakaway on Pan. That's what you're listening to. We're so happy you could join us, Carol and Susan, and quite a few people are joining us on Facebook. We're glad you could spend the time with us. Let's see, Janice and Lynette in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for joining us. First we heard, well, we tried to hear Pantonics, but they weren't playing too well. So we went over very quickly to Renegade Steel Orchestra with a One Family Carnival is Over medley. That's Lord Kitchener, I believe, and some other great composer. And then we went to Ralph Robinson's Culture, vocals by Roger George, featuring Canada's Mark Mosca on double second pans from the album Majesty. Okay, so Lynette, we're so happy that you take the time to come, listen to our Steelpan Vibes. It's More Than Music radio show. Janice, she's there as well. We really appreciate the time you spend with us. We're getting ready for the spotlight.
Experienced healthcare professionals know end-stage illness means it's time for hospice. They choose Vitas Healthcare because during the middle of the night or over a holiday weekend, Vitas is always available. Available to improve quality of life at the end of life. Available to provide your patients with the right care at the right time in the right place. Refer today. Call 888-VITAS-80 or go to vitas.com. That's VITAS.com. First licensed in 1980.
If you're new to the Steelpan Vice, It's More Than Music radio show, it's my honor to introduce you to our guest interviewer, Pan-African writer Dwayne Akio Wong Omowali, and his returning guest, Miss Alexandra Ducksworth. She's a music student at Florida International University. She's young, but an astute observer of the African experience. And Alex will expand on her views regarding mental health, self-hatred, African history, and whatever else we can get into that interview. So I want to welcome you guys to the Steelpan Vibes, It's More Than Music radio show. Good morning, and thanks for coming to enlighten our listeners about important issues affecting our community. So first, I'm going to ask Dwayne, how has he been?
Doing very well.
You're doing very well.
Yes.
You see, he's very precise and to the point. That's right. He's written so many books. How many books he written so far?
17.
17 books. The man isn't even 30 years old yet. He's written 17 books. How many books have I written? None. I mean, that's not good. I'm inspired. I'm going to start writing. Folks, we're lucky to have these young people. We need to listen to what they have to say. And Alex, I thank you so much for coming all the way from Orlando to chat with our listeners.
Thank you.
All right. So, take it away, Dwayne.
Okay. Well, our first question is, since the last time you were here, we spoke a lot about mental health. So I want to find out what are the reasons you became as passionate about mental health as you are?
I would say life in general kind of, puts you in a place of where you need to be. And a lot of things that happened in my life kind of highlighted the fact that I needed to be a forward movement of my mental health, basically. I needed to take control of my own mental health and make sure that I was okay in order to complete the things and do the things that I wanted to do in life.
All right. And one aspect of mental health that we've spoken about in our conversations is the importance of being able to cope. Do you think this is something that should be taught to children at an early age?
Yes, it should be taught to everybody. Everybody should have access to learning about mental health and things that can help you when it comes to mental health. I know there is actually a few schools that have started missions and different programs that help kids when it comes to doing yoga in schools. They've started it in a few elementary schools, and a lot of meditation and kind of, giving kids time to step away from a situation, breathe, calm down, and kind of realize what's going on and kind of help them develop skills and learn skills for them to be able to cope with certain situations and people and friends and, someone broke my crayon. So different things like that. And it helps you and it continues to help you throughout life as you get older. So yes, of course, I think it's very important that kids have these coping skills for life.
Okay. And what are some of the issues that you address in your own music, and is mental health one of them?
I address a lot of issues. I address a lot of things, a lot of personal things. So a lot of things I've experienced in life, whether that be friendships, relationships, or just day-to-day things that I encounter. But mental health is definitely has been a big topic as of lately. And talking about, how you encounter and how you deal with people in life, how that affects you, and how it affects how you deal with people later on in life. So whether it be a relationship that was very bad, or a friendship that was very bad, or it might even be a relationship with a parent, or whatever the case may be, it kind of drives how relationships go for the rest of your life. So if coming from my standpoint as a black woman, a young black woman, let's say I have a negative or toxic relationship with a young man, and then I go forward in life and I don't necessarily know how to, work with or be able to communicate with anybody. It's like, these things are very important to talk about. So if, we have issues that we deal with or issues with people, it's important to be able to release those things and talk about those things. And it's important for us to heal those things as well, so we can be able to, be a better person, of course.
Okay, and one of the specific mental health challenges that people of African descent have to deal with is a deep-seated feeling of self-hatred. Is this something that you've noticed yourself, and what are some of the things that we can do to address this issue?
That one is really hard. Yes, self-hatred, it's so hard to say self-hatred when you're talking about yourself, because you don't want to say, you hate yourself. That's a very harsh thing to say about yourself, but I feel as if everybody has had that point in their life where they've hated, something about themselves, whether it be something that no one can see, or a trait about yourself, or even, something physical. There's always been something that we've always wanted to change. So being, again, another young black woman in America, it's very hard growing up, and the day and age, now, and dealing with image. So you're dealing with, colorism, you're dealing with, the light skin versus dark skin whole thing, and you're dealing with hair, you're dealing with hair texture, you're dealing with weight, you're dealing with acne, skin issues growing up. It's a lot of things that I personally dealt with growing up, hair being a big issue, and the texture of it. So of course I had to learn how to appreciate what grew from my head, and appreciate, not everybody has it. Some people do. And, some people have kinkier hair, some people have straighter hair, but I have to appreciate what I have and then learn how to take care of it and do it myself, because it's what grows from my head. It's my crown. So I have to wear it as such and treat it as such. And we have to, teach people those things when it comes to their bodies, and when it comes to their emotions and their mental, it's yours, and that's what God gave you. And, if you take care of it, then beautiful things will happen in your life, and you'll be happier in life. But, of course, we all have those things, that we constantly still deal with throughout our lives.
And I'm glad you mentioned that topic, actually, because the next question was going to be on how do you feel self-hatred impacts black women, especially not only in regards to how they feel about themselves, but also maybe how black men feel about the black women. Do you think that's an issue in the community that needs to be addressed?
Yes, it's always been an issue. It hasn't always been an issue, but it's been an issue for hundreds of years for us. And, we deal with the whole, of course, like I said previously, the stigma of women being strong, and, us being the backbone, and people always looking to us, especially the men in the community, looking to us to be the strong figures and to speak up and say, when something is wrong. A lot of movements that have taken place, at least in America, have been from black women and have been moved and pushed forward by black women. But we still have issues that we still haven't sorted out. We still have a lot of self-hate and a lot of issues that we just have not talked about. And we haven't had a platform to talk about these things. But we still see the fact that, we have issues in the community that need to be fixed. So the same way as how we handle our households is how we handle the movement. So, there's hundreds of things that need to get done. The kids need to do homework. The food needs to be cooked. The house needs to be cleaned. Somebody needs their hair done. All these things need to be done. And I need a moment. I might need a moment, for myself. But at the same time, all these things need to get done. And they're very important things that need to get done. The same as how in the community, we have hundreds of things that we need to do to better our community and to help our kids and everything else. But we have issues, but we kind of have to put them on the back burner. And that's sad that we have to, but it's just the reality that we face is the fact that we usually do that. I wish we didn't, but we tend to do so. But we need to actually start looking into making sure we take care of ourselves as well as our communities.
My goodness, I gotta jump in here because it's quite true, and this is one of the reasons why we do the Steelpan Vibes. It's more than music radio show, because we need to have a place where we can talk about things that affect our community. And unfortunately, we don't have many of those places. They come and they go. Some last a little while in the media. I'm thinking of Like It Is, for example, that used to be on television in New York. I don't know if it was all over. Gil Noble, a great journalist who's passed away now, he would bring those types of issues forward and bring people who can discuss it with us. We need to hear this. We need to know how young people feel, what some of the issues that they face. Our women, they're here. That's a big problem that we don't get chance to talk about. The skin. You know, some women in Africa and in the Caribbean are actually bleaching their skin.
Yes.
We ain't talking about that. That is mental illness. That is definitely mental illness. We just need to have a space where we could talk and discuss these things in a civil manner and work through them. And nobody else can do it for us. You know, people sometimes have a way of saying, you know, you people do this, or you people. Listen, folks, no more of this you people stuff. We are you people, and we are going to take care of our issues. All right. Once we get the space, we're going to take care of our issues. If you're just joining us, this is the Steelpan Vibes. It's more than music radio show. We're in the Steelpan Vibes spotlight with our guest interviewer, Dwayne Akio Wang Omawali. He's a Pan-Africanist who has written 17 books. Yes, 17 books. And he is interviewing a very bright young lady. She's a music student at Florida International University. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Florida?
No,
Which one?
you're fine. It's actually Florida Memorial University. It's the only HBCU in South Florida, actually.
Oh, and I know that university, Florida Memorial. Used to be Florida Memorial College, I think.
Yes.
Now it's Florida Memorial University. That's where she is. And she is speaking out about some of the issues that affect young black women, young black men, our relationships. It's very interesting, and I'm glad we have the opportunity to do that. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, you're probably thinking Florida International University because that's where I'm from.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. I get the universities mixed up.
And they're both in Miami.
Yes.
So.
This is true, but I know. In fact, they have a steel band.
Yes,
there.
they do. I was going to tell you that actually when you mentioned the other band. We've had a Steelpan band for many years now, and they're very prestigious and very good at what they do.
That's right. I think Dr. who used to be in charge of the steel band, she's no longer there.
I believe.
Dawn Batson.
Yes,
Dawn
yes, ma'am.
Batson.
Yes.
See, she used to be there. I know my stuff.
Yes.
You go ahead, guys.
Okay, so in our last interview, we spoke a little bit about the importance of history in raising the self-esteem of black people. Now, why do you think it's important for black people to know about the contributions that are made by black women, such as Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, and Ida B. Wells Barnett, who fought against slavery, racism, and Jim Crow? Here, or even women on the African continent, such as Nzinga and Nyasantawa, that fought against European colonialism there.
Well, I feel as if when it comes to learning history in general, not just our history, but in general, it's always been male driven. So whether that be, if you sit down in a history class in elementary school or middle school, it's always learning about, all these male leaders and all these great male people, inventors and such, but there's rarely any mention of a lot of women. So therefore we're pushed to the back of the classroom and we really don't have a say. So, the only, and of course, in America, the only women that are brought up when it comes to learning about black history is, Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks. And then we'll learn maybe a little bit about, great male leaders' wives and such and things like that. But we're all the independent women who, push all these movements. Or why don't we learn about how black women were actually leading and guiding the Black Panther Party at one point in time completely? But we don't talk about those things. So it's important for everyone to realize that it gives us the equality that we're looking for. So if it's only male driven, little girls, they'll never learn about all these great women. And, it kind of stunts confidence in a sense, and it kind of stunts what they believe they can grow up to be and do. Yes, you can be a queen. You can be a queen. You can be a princess. Actually, we've seen that recently. You can become anything that you want to be. You can do anything that you want to do because women have done it for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's just the fact that it hasn't been brought to our attention. Why? I'm not going to start a conspiracy theory. I'm not going to say that they're trying to hold us down or, they don't want us to learn anything because then we'll be out of our places. But it's true. We need to make sure that we have that discussion and we have that talk and we, buy the books about, the young girls who are doing such certain things in the world and different careers. It's important because it gives us that equality. Everybody's starting at the same line. So if we don't have that, then we're never going to have that narrative.
Okay, and in what ways has studying this history impacted you in terms of your confidence and how you feel about yourself as a black woman?
When I was younger, when I started learning about different women in history, it was kind of not, I don't want to say it was shocking, but it was shocking to learn that women did all these great things. Because most of what you're seeing when you grow up, depending on who is in your household, you kind of see, the same movements, the same motions. You see, your mother, whatever her career may be, go to her job, and you'll see, your grandmother, you'll see the housework, the cooking, the cleaning, and you'll see different things. You'll see certain women in certain jobs, but you don't see it all. So it's when I started to see more, I started to understand that I could do more and I could be more. So the fact that seeing Miss May, who was the first black female astronaut, seeing her growing up and learning about her, doing a whole project on her, and knowing, I can go to space. I can go to Neptune, maybe, possibly one day. I can do all these things. It gave me the push that I needed to be able to say that I can do what I want to do and not just take a stereotypical job. I can do whatever I want to do. I can create my own career from anything and everything.
Okay, and before we get to our final questions, is there anything else that you would like to let our listeners know?
Oh, what would I like to let you guys know? I would like to let everyone know, you, like I've said before, I always try to make sure that people know to find your own peace, but also to make sure that you are, there are a lot of people out there who are drawn to people who have problems, which I've had a conversation with someone recently, and that can be draining of your energy to be able to help all of these people. It's very important to help people, but when you start to do it all the time and people are coming to you all the time, you need to make sure that you use the term no, and people sometimes don't know how to use the term no. So I would like to let people know that it's okay to say no. As of recent, I've learned that myself. It's okay to let people know, no, you need to be able to conserve your time and energy for yourself to be able to complete the things that you want to do in your life.
I think that's an important lesson, especially for people that try to go out the way to help others. Sometimes you might not necessarily be in a position to do those things. So I want to end this interview by asking you two Steelpan related questions. Now, as you know, Steelpan was invented in Trinidad and Tobago by young men of African descent, and they did so after the British colonial government banned the African drum. So in this regard, for me, the Steelpan represents not only the creativity of African people, but also our rebellious spirit, because these young men invented this instrument in defiance of the British ban on the African drum. So the first question is, because there's such a rich tradition of African people using our music as a way to rebel against injustices and oppression, is this a tradition that you use in your own music?
Yes. Yes. It's the main drive, I would say, is to be rebellious. As my father calls me, I am a rebel without a cause, but also a million causes at the same time. I try to make sure, especially when it comes to music, I'm so passionate about it to the fact that I get angry and I feel it's important to make sure that I drive a narrative that's not being used. It's not being explained. It's not out there. So I like to, men can talk about any and every topic when it comes to music, but when it comes to women, depending on what the topic is, there's always a stigma or a stereotype held above our heads when we talk about certain subjects. So I feel like women should be able to speak on any and every topic, and I feel as if I should be able to do the same. So yes, yes, I'm a rebel with a million causes, and my music definitely reflects that.
Okay, and the final question, are there any more interesting facts about the Steelpan that you've learned since your last interview?
Yes, the Steelpan I've learned, especially being in school, I've studied a lot about different instruments, and the Steelpan, there's actually a derivative of the Steelpan that was created around in the 70s in Europe, and it was by the company Artpan. And it was a gentleman and a young lady who got together and actually started creating inverted steel pans. So actually you don't need any, sticks to play the pan itself. It almost looks like a little UFO that you sit in your lap, and you can actually just play with your hands. And of course they made it out of necessity of someone needing an, portable instrument to be able to play steel pan, because steel pan was huge and enormous when it got popular in Europe around the 70s. So out of the necessity of people needing that, and then for it to be portable, they actually created a inverted steel pan, which goes by the name of, actually, I believe it's Hong, and it goes by a hand pan as well. So out of necessity, of course, once again, out of necessity, from drums being taken and black people creating a whole nother instrument, the steel pan. Out of necessity again, they created a different version of the steel pan.
Okay, guys. Well, we just want to thank both Alexandra Ducksworth and Dwayne for, coming in and giving us some more information, mental health, self-hatred, African history. Our young people, these are prime examples of what our young people could grow up to be, grow into be. They can do anything. You know about your history, you know about yourself. You can fly to the moon. She wants to go to Neptune. I don't know. Maybe Fumi wants to go to another place. But I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, the last word comes from Strive Masiyiwa, Executive Chairman and Founder of Econet, a diversified telecommunications company with investments in Africa, Europe, North America, East Asia Pacific Rim. And this is what he has to say. If you are working or you are running a business, you have to set aside time and money to invest in your continued formal education and skills acquisition. It's very important. You're in a field, take a couple courses, workshops, whatever, just to improve and upgrade your skill set. From Paris, France, Calypso Association Steel Band takes us home with a long-time Calypso breakaway from the Grandmaster, the Road March King, Alwyn Roberts, also known as Lord Kitchener, entitled Don't Rock Me So, featuring solo and arrangement by Laurent Lassan on the album Made It. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, be encouraged, have a safe, enjoyable weekend. May God bless you all.
May God.